Welcome to the Numerology and the Astrology for June 21st, 2020. Now, I do these videos the day in advance, and so right now, my time, Pacific time, it is 1:26 p.m. And I just wanted to point out that I'm doing this on the day that is the eclipse day, which is the 20th, and I have this weird phenomenon that happens, and it doesn't happen all the time, but when it happens, it's really consistent. It's that when an eclipse happens the day before, which was yesterday, so on the 19th, I start to get this terrible headache, and then I feel like I'm literally waving, like I can barely stay focused. And then I sleep like a dog, and then the next day, which is today, I'm so exhausted that I'm a person who never takes a nap in the afternoon, and all of a sudden I am just laying on the couch and I'm unconscious. Like I'm just like completely out. It's so weird. And I know it has to do with the eclipses, and I think it's because I'm a Leo, and I have a moon in Cancer, and this particular eclipse is in Cancer, and the eclipses always include the sun and the moon, and so they include both my sun and my ascendant, and so I think it might have something to do with all of that. But boy, when it hits like a bucket load of bricks. I mean, and it's like there's no control over it. It's just like down for the count. I can't tell you how many amazing eclipses I actually was unable to see because I either got a headache, got a migraine, or was unconscious and sound asleep throughout the whole eclipse. It's so strange. So I say that to just point these things out to you because we're so much water in our body, and the moon has this ability to pull the tides in the ocean. So if it's got the ability to pull that, it's got the ability to pull us. And I think depending on your chart and how your chart is aspected, related to different eclipses, you feel certain eclipses more than others. And this particular round, I felt them really strongly. So if you add all these numbers together, today you get the number 13, and if you add the 1 and the 3 together, you get the number 4. Now, by now, if you've been listening to the videos, you know that the number 4 is about neutral mind. It's about harmony, balance, negotiation, diplomacy, communicating from a fair, just, noble, generous place. And so what I find is that the more you practice neutrality and harmony, the more you will tend to attract in people who are in a lot of chaos. And you have to think of this through a lens of chaos. Like if I was a person freaking out and going sideways, the last person I'd want to talk to is another person freaking out and going sideways. I don't want to talk to a number 4. And 4s have a tendency to feel like, it's like, what is going on? I have like an N on top of my head or on my forehead that says neutral mind. And I'm constantly having to be the go-between in between everything. And so today you might feel like you're that go-between. Maybe you need to be the go-between. Maybe you need to be more fair, just, noble, and generous. Maybe you need to figure out how to stay more neutral, which I think is really difficult at this particular point in time. But the only way to test to see if you're truly neutral is to put you in chaos. And here we are. We're at a summer solstice, an eclipse. We're dealing with a lot of astrology that's hitting in relationship to all of that. I mean, it's a big day. I mean, it's a big day on the 20th, and you feel these things bleeding in, to the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th. You'll still feel it. So there can be no peace without clarity, boundaries, fairness, and justice. That's why things are so difficult right now. I do believe that the majority of Americans attempt to be all of the above. There are many that attempt to follow the golden rule and are bound and determined to not let our country go backwards into hate and segregation. Regardless of what the haters want, I believe in the power of the people of this country. It seems that finally a majority of them have had enough of this insanity and are standing up and speaking out. Balance is achieved only through tremendous effort when so much is dangerously out of balance. That is why you always start with yourself. If you are balanced, then, regardless of what the world is throwing out, you have your center and your sanity. Then you can make choices that are better balanced and less reactive. Okay, the astrology today, which is Father's Day. And I want everyone to reflect on their fathers for a minute to see whether, there's anything incomplete in the dynamic between your father and you. Because even if your father is not here, just simply notice, are there any unresolved issues that you're still hung up about? And maybe this Father's Day would be a really great day to let those go. Light a candle for him. Release your anger and frustration and resentment. Let go of certain genetic patterns that you inherited from him or you learned from him that no longer serve you. It's really important to kind of learn how to kind of keep moving with these things. And so here's Father's Day. Reflect on your dad. On so many levels, I had an awesome dad, an amazing dad, and I'm super grateful that I had that particular dad. But I know that there are a lot of people that are challenged by their dads, and I want you to remember that you are not your father. And so you get to choose which of the many characteristics and traits that you inherited from him. And if there's something you don't like, you have the power to change it. So since it's Father's Day, expect a lot of astrological, emotional ups and downs. And with the combination of comfort and safety seeking Cancer moon, then still feeling the tail end of the solar eclipse, and with the Neptune slowing down to turn retrograde on Monday night, it will make for an interesting day. All the aspects indicate a fresh start and a new beginning. You're being asked to look deeper and to pay attention to your intuition and what you are feeling. Something is below the surface, rising slowly more and more into your consciousness. It is difficult to trust what you cannot completely see or define. It is like an alligator that is walking on the bottom of the river, watching you. You cannot see it, but you can feel something about to break the surface of the water with a crash. There is a feeling of some sort of danger that is not normal or familiar. Because of that sense, pull your family close and know where you belong. Safety is more important than ever before. Know who you can trust and keep your family circle tight. These eclipses are a cosmic 2x4, pushing you for a world with better balance. Inner and outer need better alignment. Knowing who to nurture and how to nurture those you love becomes even more important. The Sun-Saturn quincunx creates clashes and upsets. Each of us is responsible for helping change this world out of dysfunction into more responsible movement. As with so many planets slowing down or retrograde, know that you will suffer doubt and a fear that you do not have enough. So kind of just know that you have to take a look at this time and have no fear, and you have to figure out how to get through it. You do have what it will take to pop out the other side. Believe in yourself. Believe that this moment will change into something better. All right. So my quote for today: while we are the problem, we are the solution. While we are unique, we are also common and base. While we are here, we have a responsibility to protect those that suffer. If you are not protecting, you are complicit to and responsible for the damage being done. Okay, my blog for today. I try to live my life through the perspective of looking at what another needs and not just making choices that are exclusively about getting my own needs met. Certain things in cultures and civilizations actually cause me suffering and pain when I encounter them. When anyone puts another person down from a place of judgment, it causes me pain. The caste system in India, when the differences between the haves and the have-nots is shockingly vast, causes me pain. Those that treat others as servants and slaves and demand things in a tone where they are looking down at another, causes me pain. People ignoring the suffering of the homeless people on the sidewalks causes me pain. People hurting other people for any reason causes me pain. People hurting animals in cruel ways that are designed to be pointless and cause suffering and then death cause me pain. Humanity destroying our world, air, water, land, and wildlife causes me tremendous pain. Humanity not caring and being numb causes me pain. What all these things have in common is us. We can make laws and decisions that could easily stop all of it. It is up to us to choose and draw a line. I believe that that line is being drawn as we speak. I believe that the global horror of this moment is so extreme that finally some clarity and conscience is happening. And for that, I am grateful. So once again, take some time, really honestly ask yourself what causes you pain. Own it, communicate it, deal with it. Don't deny it. Don't avoid it. Don't push it away. Don't pretend it doesn't exist. Don't gloss it over with fairy tales and fantasy bonds. Really take a look at what causes you pain. And notice when those things come up, do you avoid that thing? The hardest one for me is like homeless people on the street. So you see these homeless people and you want to help. And then you have to feel into them, and it's like, are they in a place where they want to be helped? And actually the answer is oftentimes no. If you help them, are you helping them? Are you causing them more harm? So it's sort of like, okay, should I be giving them money? No, I probably should be buying them a sandwich, right? So, it's a tricky thing that you have to feel into each person in each moment and decide what is appropriate for them, not you, because so many times we do things because their experience is causing me suffering, and so I want it to stop. And so if I can just get this suffering to stop, then I will feel better. And I'm like, that's not the point of suffering. Suffering is happening so you do something. It's not so that you feel better, though doing something really well, you can end up feeling better. But that should not be the goal. The goal should not be to make the pain go away, but to figure out how to embrace the pain in such a way that you become more conscious and aware. And, you can start to understand another person's perspective rather than your own. Okay. So, it is in seeing the truth that I can breathe. It is in this world waking up that I can begin to hope. It is in humanity finally recognizing the suffering and karmic debt it is creating that I begin to feel constructive movement. It is in a shift of the laws and rules of this dimension that I believe we can correct the mistakes of our ancestors and free them from the karmic burden of their choices and actions. Thanks, everybody.